The indoctrination of children is something that honestly doesn't surprise us anymore, which is extremely unfortunate. And when it comes to the indoctrination of children, not only does it have to do with things of anti-God, common core, pro-satanic type stuff, drag queens, the alphabet agenda. Not only does it include that, but it also includes anti-Semitism. Let's take a look at this, shall we? Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Zach, the Wretched Watchman. Thank you guys for joining me today. And I'm bringing you a little bit of news when it comes to the indoctrination of children, when it comes to the alphabet agenda, and when it comes to the spreading and the rising anti-Semitism in the United States of America. And we've got something that is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. You know, pretty much everything. I mean, if we go back 10, 15 years ago, some of the stuff that we look at that we think is just another Tuesday, it would have just absolutely shocked us. We would have been jumping out of our skin. And now we're at the point now where it's just nothing seems to surprise us anymore because of how horrifically satanic and demonic that this world has truly become. But we still got to keep an update of what's going on, especially when it comes to the little ones. And this isn't good. Let's take a look at what's going on, because we have ourselves a drag queen that is getting kids to chant Free Palestine. I kid you not. Coming from the Hedge here, it says drag queen makes tiny kids chant Free Palestine. A video has emerged of a drag queen leading children barely older than toddler age and chanting Free Palestine during a so-called Queer Storytime for Palestine event in Massachusetts. The event, featuring a drag queen going by the name of Lil Miss Hot Mess, yeah, because we all know that that's a family-friendly name, took place earlier this month at the Northampton Center for the Arts. Again, whatever passes as art nowadays, just don't. That's a different discussion. Let's just keep going. Stay focused. The event was advertised by the organizers as dancing, celebrating Palestine culture, learning about queer heroes, and doing arts and crafts. According to the hosts, Valley Family for Palestine, profits from the event were donated to Al-Quaz, a Palestinian organization that is working for queer liberation. It's fascinating because if you go over to that side of the country, if they find out that you are, in fact, alphabet, they throw you off roofs. They'll throw you off a rooftop. But now we have an organization. Again, this is what I mean. The world is upside down. I mean, we're not even... The Bible talks about, good will be called bad and bad will be called good. But we're at the point now where just logic and common sense just has gone. It's not even out the window. It's out of orbit now. It's completely gone. None of this makes sense. Just like the movements where it's like Queers for Palestine organization. It's like, if you were doing that in your country, you'd be run over. You'd be thrown off rooftops. You'd be beheaded. But again, this has to do with the absolute dumbing down of society, and it has worked perfectly, I might add. And I don't mean that as a positive thing either. Let's keep going. It goes on to say a video captured at the event shows Lil Miss Hot Mess over there reading her book titled "If You're a Drag Queen and You Know It." Wow. And ordered the kids, if you're a drag queen and you know it, shout Free Palestine. I mean, this isn't stuff that's being hidden anymore. Again, we've been watching this for a while. This stuff isn't hidden anymore. It's not secret anymore. This is stuff that's being not only actively promoted by people in that society, but it's being actively promoted by governments. It's being actively promoted by schools. It's being actively promoted by parents taking their kids to these events and getting their kids to participate in these events. I remember back in the day, it says, oh, no, we just want the right to have legal marriage. That's all we want. We're not going to go any further than that. Look at where we're at now. Especially since you look at the San Francisco Gay Men's Choir. This was several years ago. They put out a song that says, we're coming for your kids. We're coming for your kids. Yep. They told us. And look at what is happening now. I'll tell you what. It's not going to be good, especially since the Bible talks about how it's better to have a millstone around your neck and thrown into the ocean than to mess with God's little ones. I think God might need to make a few more millstones at the end of this. I'm just saying. Let's take a look at this event because I've got the video on hand.
Today what we're going to do is we're going to shout, Free Palestine. Can I hear that? Free Palestine! If you're a drag queen and you know it, shout, Free Palestine! If you're a drag queen and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're a drag queen and you know it, shout, Free Palestine! Excellent.
This is the world. This is Satan's world, man. I'll tell you what, this is Satan's world, and he's loving it. He's loving the debauchery and the sin and just this Satanism that is surrounding this, and there's no escaping it either. I know, we see all the things that's going around with all the college campuses and all the stuff like that. I did a report a couple months back about the school in New York that rewrote the map and actually removed Israel entirely and just put Palestine on there. Again, they're trying to rewrite history. They've accomplished rewriting history. Nobody knows anything. You see interviews with these college kids who are protesting, and they ask them basic questions, and they don't even know what they're protesting. They're just there doing it. And then we see what's going on with in the government and stuff like that. And we see the rewriting of laws in order to protect, anti-Semitism in some type of way. But ultimately what it's doing is it's stomping on free speech. And again, we have the issue of, well, are we going to support Israel, or are we going to completely abandon the United States or whatever? And it's like, we have laws in this country for a reason, and we still need to uphold them. Just like we have history, but again, you go into the history books, and none of that stuff is legit. History is always written by, some people say history is always written by the winners, but the problem is the winners are always the one orchestrating all of this stuff. So they rewrite history according to exactly how they want in order to move society in the direction that they want to go. And they're doing the same thing when it comes to kids. I've done a lot of stuff when it comes to the spirituality and education stuff. It's extremely important. A lot of people are bored by it. They're uninterested in it, even though they talk about how they want to, help save the kids and stuff. But this is part of the spirituality and education. This is the stuff that is happening. And it's being funded by everybody, whether it's people from the Middle East, whether it's the Alphabet Agenda, whether it's, the big names like George Soros, or even companies like I've gone in the past, and Chick-fil-A, which is supposedly a Christian organization, funds drag queen story hours and the buildings that they're put on. I've done all the stuff on that. There's no escaping it. But this is just to the point now where we've got drag queens commanding kids to shout, if you're a drag queen and you know it, Free Palestine. You are indoctrinating kids with the Alphabet Agenda. You are indoctrinating kids with anti-Semitism. You are indoctrinating kids with false history. You are indoctrinating kids with misinformation. You're indoctrinating kids with demonic agenda, doctrines of demons. At this point, I know some people ask, what do you do? Pray, warn, get your kids out of the system, and let God serve his justice when it's in his time. I mean, sometimes we just get to a point where, we can only do so much. And I know that's not necessarily the answer people want to hear, but there's no stopping this train. We just have to do our best to warn and try and get as many souls out of it as we can. That's really ultimately what we got to do. Oh boy. It's a tough one. But remember, as the world grows darker, the closer we are to going home. And God is not going to abandon his little ones. He makes special note in Scripture. There's two things that you just don't mess with: the gospel and his little ones. So I have a feeling God has a righteous judgment that's going to come upon those who did mess with the little ones. And it's going to be a judgment none of us can even imagine. That's my personal belief. Continue to pray for these little ones. Continue to pray for them. Continue to warn. Be active in the school boards. And just get your kids out. Get your kids out of this. Keep them away from this. All right, guys. I'm Zach, the Wretched Watchman. This was not a happy one, I know. But sometimes we got to get through the hard news too. So you guys have a great one. Continue to pray. Continue to hold your faith and your trust in Jesus Christ. He's coming soon. He's coming soon. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. Maranatha.